Hi viewers, welcome to another exciting session of Q Talk. Today we are honored to welcome Dr. Rhonda Farrell. She is a global respected executive leader with over 20 years of experience driving excellence and strategic transformation across artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and innovation. She is a US Marine veteran, a recently elected Fellow of American Society for Quality, Senior Member at IEEE, and a Distinguished Fellow of the Information System Security Association. She is a recognized woman leader in STEM. She is also an accomplished speaker, author, and strong advocate for entrepreneurial growth and inclusive leadership. Hi, Rhonda. Thank you very much for joining us.
Zubair, thank you so very much. I am so pleased to be in your esteemed fellowship presence and to talk and communicate with your audience today.
Yeah, that's our sheer pleasure. So our viewers are interested to know about you and your accomplishments and the way you have been helping so many organizations with a great career. So could you briefly share your professional journey and the key milestones that shaped your career in quality excellence and change leadership?
Thank you so much, Zubair. Yes. So hello, everyone on the line today. I'm so grateful to share this story with you. My career really began where accountability is immediate and failure is not theoretical, because computer operations and mission critical systems are so vitally important, not only to our commerce, but to our defense and military personnel. Early on, I supported data center and computer operations activities at the U.S. Marine Corps' Inter-Service Military Computer Operations and Training Center, followed by decades-long service in large-scale engineering, software quality, and systems assurance across global technology firms. I've had the great fortune of being able to live and work in Japan and really exchange quality information and excellence information with my Japanese engineering counterparts, as well as many peers from around the world. My background is also steeped in ISO 9000 and Malcolm Baldrige initiatives, because those are the key to successful enterprise transformation, cybersecurity, and many change leadership initiatives. My work steadily expanded from quality as a function to really quality as an enterprise enabler. Over time, I moved into advisory and leadership roles where quality, governance, people, and technology had to align under real-world constraints. So now I operate at the nexus of policy, people, process, and platforms, where I get the chance to collaborate, co-create, and help teams build the systems, habits, and culture that turn ideas into greater impact. So I like to say I bring the structure where it's needed, the energy where it might be missing, and unity where silos once existed to make transformation stick. One of my key milestone and philosophies is that quality is how organizations keep their promises, especially under times like these where conditions are constantly changing. And a seminal quote might be from Dr. Deming, who said, "The system is perfectly designed to get the results it gets, and it only is optimized when we as a whole co-create and collaborate to make it better."
Yeah, that's really awesome. So, Rhonda, could you share with us how you were actually attracted towards quality profession and how your perspectives have evolved over this period of time?
Thank you. So I think I'm originally drawn to quality because it brought discipline to complexity. As I shared, I was early Marine Corps computer operations. And so quality at that point in time meant service optimization to our multi-service training construct, as well as defect prevention, compliance, and control in those early stage engineering and operational roles. And then essentially those set the foundation for the latter year, very high risk technical environments, again, where service level agreements and the national security, defense, and military missions are so important. So today, my perspective is a little bit broader and a little bit more pragmatic, right? I think we could say quality is not about achieving perfection per se, or the assessment, heavy laden governance assessment life cycles, but it's more about meeting the organization where it's at, moving it forward, and building heightened levels of trust, reliability, and decision integrity. So I think in modern organizations, especially those that are deploying early stage AI and digital modernization systems, quality has really become inseparable from the intertwined governance, ethics, and human in the loop constructs that we're all focused on right now. So if quality once lived in an assessment checklist, I think now it lives in the daily leadership choices our executives, our teams, and our SMEs are making daily. And a seminal quote might be from John Ruskin, which says, quality is never an accident. It is always the results of intelligence effort. And I think that's really where we're at today, Zubair.
Yeah, that's very inspiring, Rhonda. And we have seen that besides your professional aspirations and contribution in so many organizations, you also help American Society for Quality. You have been supporting several divisions in several roles. So could you just share with us about your most significant participation at ASQ?
Thank you, Zubair. Yes, I would say my contributions to ASQ really reflect a sustained thought and service leadership approach. Since my join date with ASQ in 2003, I have served in multiple leadership roles across sections, divisions, technical communities, and also ASQE. And what, alongside yourself, Zubair, really helping to drive global conversations with regard to seminal cutting research that they're undertaking. We contribute, both you and I, to ASQ World Conferences and multi-divisional summits and events, supporting standards derivation work, and really mentoring emerging leaders and global industry members. I think most importantly, it's about modernizing the quality conversation, bridging multiple excellence models, and embedding them with digital transformation, innovation, AI, and governance. I would say my focus has always been on the most practical impact, helping ASQ members apply quality principles where complexity, speed, and risk intersect, and also just meeting each organizational unit where it's at and helping mature programmatically or organizationally or team-wise what we can take on as an organization and how we can serve with quality and excellence and impact. So I think ASQ is strongest when it leads, and my contributions have consistently aimed at keeping the profession relevant and hopefully future ready.
That's really wonderful. We have just seen the news that you have been elected as a new fellow of American Society for Quality. And I'm sure people around the world, they want to know, how did you achieve this status? How you were selected to become an ASQ fellow? Was it your professional contribution, or it was only a support to ASQ? So could you just enlighten us on that achievement, please?
Thank you, Zubair. Much like you, I think it boils down to a holistic service model. ASQ Fellow recognition is awarded not for a moment in time that we undertake, Zubair, but it ultimately reflects the sustained impact, trusted leadership, and meaningful advancement of the profession over years. In my particular case, that impact was built through long-term ASQ leadership undertakings, consistent contribution across multiple industry segments, quality change and cyber being first and foremost, and work that really helped evolve how quality is understood, applied, and valued across the sectors. I think equally critical to what we're doing within and across and outside of ASQ is about building peer trust over time. Quality is really a profession where credibility cannot just be claimed by planting your flag. It really is earned over decades of work with industry constructs and with our peer base. So over more than 2 years, that trust has been established through results, collaboration, and willingness to step into hard, complex spaces where quality intersects with organizational excellence, change leadership, and emerging technologies. By helping position quality as a strategic enabler rather than a compliance function, I contributed to expanding ASQ's relevance at pivotal moments for the profession. And in short, fellow recognition reflects not just what I did, but how consistently I showed up to advance quality when it mattered most within the constructs of my peer base within ASQ and outside of ASQ across multiple organizations, because it truly is a team sport, Zubair.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. Rhonda, I remember when I joined ASQ 20 years ago, we did not have, such rapid communication platforms, and we did not have clear paths in ASQ. I joined it to just develop some skills in Six Sigma. And at some point of time, someone told me to become a senior member. And then,
Yes.
After so many years, I was asked that I should be nominated as a fellow. So, but today it's much clear path for the folks who are entering into the quality profession. So what advice would you like to give to the quality professionals who aspire to become ASQ fellow?
Thank you so much, Zubair. And I think to your point, many of us had that same type of journey where it's our peer base who is raising us up for various opportunities and leadership positions, as well as senior member and then ASQ fellow members. So I think there is a couple seeds I'd like to plant for those whom are listening, and that is aim for the impact that you can have internal across the ASQ whole and externally, and not just optics. Titles, visibility, and accolades oftentimes open many doors. But in ASQ, it's the sustained influence that comes from solving real problems that matter to the organization and to society writ large. I think if you can master the fundamentals of quality and make sure they're non-negotiable in everything that you do within and outside of the society, but don't stay confined to them. Definitely tell the story, definitely show alignment, definitely promulgate them. But the profession advances when our practitioners apply these principles to brand new domains like AI, emerging technologies, the emerging risk, and the complex real world systems and opportunities that we're seeing, especially in light of the United Nations SDGs, etc. We need to serve consistently and with purpose, because leadership and quality is not episodic. It is really a cumulative journey. So I would say mentor generously, because the strength of the profession is ultimately measured by the capability of those that are coming up next. And we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to publish, to speak, and to share your experience and your wisdom. not only to build your personal brand, which of course is important, but also to translate your lived experience into insights that others can harness and utilize to help them along their career paths and along their professional trajectory. The most respected voices and qualities are those who clarify complexity and elevate practice for the greater good. And remember this distinctions. Fellows are not ultimately recognized for knowing quality principles. They are recognizing for advancing the profession and promulgating it generously. Advancement of quality requires courage, the courage to challenge outdated assumptions, to challenge the status quo, to integrate quality with strategy and governance, and to lead when the path forward is not yet fully defined. So as the saying goes, what gets measured gets managed, but what gets led gets transformed. And I think that's the secret sauce that we bring to the table. Quality professionals who understand this don't just improve definitions, taxonomies, processes. They truly help shape the future of our quality, excellence, and innovation profession itself.
That's really awesome. Rhonda, if we look at your academics and professional qualifications, you are a really diversified person. So we were just wondering how these certifications like Certified Manager of Quality or PROSI or AGIL certifications, how these have helped you in your career progression.
Thank you so much, Zubair. I would say my academic background and professional certifications provide a strong foundation, right? They really span management, education, and leadership advances. My ASQ credentials, my change management and governance and security disciplines that I'm certified in, make sure that I have established fluency in framework standards and methodologies that not only underpin the quality profession, but help integrate our global industry segments. These credentials and academia advancements do not alone create credibility. What mattered most was being able to apply these frameworks and these principles and these methodologies to real world problems at scale within Fortune 500 firms, within the military, within defense, within intelligence organizations, and within our academic and nonprofit organizations of which we're so tightly integrated. These help us look at problems within the engineering space, operations space, policy organization, and people spaces as opportunities that we can really bring to bear our quality change, leadership, and management toolkits to help optimize outcomes and results. So again, a large part of that is the harnessing of those tools to build greater impact, trust, and sustained contribution that really helps achieve optimization at scale, Zubair.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Rhonda, if we look around, there are so many things changing, and traditional quality is now entering into a digital quality paradigm. But we hear some buzzwords. So how do you see the things like digital transformation and human factors and change management? How do you see them fitting in quality profession and quality roles?
Thank you so much. So I think if we go back to perhaps both your and I quality roots, Zubair, we're going to talk about TQM. We're going to talk about zero defects. We're going to talk about Malcolm Baldrige. We're going to talk about the ISO 9000s and all of the parallel industry standards that allowed us to go from good to great to excellence. And what do all those models take into consideration? That holistic view of an organization, starting with the end in mind and the results and outcomes we're attempting to achieve in working with leadership, working with our workforce, working with our underpinning culture, mission, vision, values, and most of all, our workforce to optimize our policy, our processes, and our infrastructures to gain a maximum advantage for our customers and our clients that we're serving. So I really think that, we're baking in change management, we're baking in digital transformation, and we're baking in these human factors into the initiatives that we're seeing organizations undertake. And we're doing that at scale because we're deploying and harnessing AI automation and our increasingly autonomous systems. Our failure modes are shifting. And so the greatest risks are no longer purely technical defects. They are really in perhaps our ability to overcome or not adoption failures, the ethical blind spots we may be facing, misaligned incentives, and sometimes, in some cases, the erosion of trust given malfeasance in these different areas. And that's where I think why having the quality, cyber, change, and leadership spectrum of experience can really help us identify risks early and often throughout the life cycles of the initiatives that we're fielding. Because I think it really takes heightened awareness on the behalf of our humans, a real focus on strengthening our governance structures, and really operationally ensuring that our complex systems can interact and integrate under pressure. I think the future of quality is really human-centered, digitally fluent, and governance aware. And I see so much focus being put on our AI and human-in-the-loop systems to assure just that. Without this evolution, right, the profession risks losing relevancy at precisely the moment its leadership is so very needed across the globe, Zubair.
That's wonderful, and that is really promising for the folks entering digital quality paradigm. Rhonda, you have been in leadership positions with so many organizations and professional communities. What do you suggest? Which leadership practices would help organizations to sustain great impact to lead the organizational achievement and excellence?
Thank you so much, Zubair. So I think we really, quality professionals and leadership play such an important part because we are both catalyst in some case, change catalysts, and we are also the governance advisors and oversight personnel. So we have oftentimes dual roles to ensure operational excellence, but we also are innovators and need to ensure that we're moving up the maturity ladder, if you will, across policy, people, process, and platforms. And so I think in this case, the deep tools that we can bring is through what I'll say clarity, alignment, and performance. Clarity in that we can help drive strategic outcomes. Alignment so that we can synthesize strategic goals and initiatives with mission outcomes and put in place then the performance management systems that enable our industries and organizations and teams to excel. So I would say clarity beats charisma only, right? Systems thinking and design beats heroics. And people, when you're harnessing them in the aggregate to fully optimize on their skills and strengths, will outperform processes only when they are truly enabled within our organizational constructs. So I would say my leadership approach, it really centers on that aligning purpose, structure, metrics, with behavioral change so that we can continuously develop others so that success is never dependent on a single individual. Going back to our no single points of failure, also, it's about sustainable results are not only the product of extraordinary effort, they are really the culmination and outcomes of designed capabilities across the organization. And that goes back to the strength of the organizational unit team and the cohesiveness and optimization utilization of our personnel resources. So I focus on building environments where good decisions become easier to make. Accountability is shared across the whole, and progress can compound over time. Because when leadership is done well, performance scales, even when a particular leader or team member needs to step back or take on an alternative tasking to move us forward. So I would say, as the saying goes, if you want to go fast, be a hero, go alone. But if you want to go far within an organization, go deep and optimize, go together.
Wonderful. You are really a great thought leader and very inspiring. Rhonda, you have achieved so much in your career, and the recent fellowship is another recharge of your career profile. So it's really enriched and strengthened. How do you plan to support the organizations after getting so many credits and feathers in your hat?
Thank you so much, Zubair. So I look at the ASQ Fellow as a beginning, right? It's the next phase to opening the door to continued contribution. My focus will remain firmly at the intersection of quality, governance, AI, and organizational resilience, because this is where leadership decision-making increasingly determines trust, performance, and sustainability. I continue to contribute across ASQ, ASQE, at the division level within our broader ecosystem through thought leadership, mentoring, and advisory roles that really help leaders and SMEs design systems capable of withstanding high complexity and very quick rates of change. So I would say within ASQ and across the global integrated community, I remain committed to advancing quality as a strategic leadership discipline, one that informs governance, enables innovation, and strengthens our global resiliency in an increasingly uncertain world.
That's really wonderful, and that is so inspiring. I'm sure our viewers around the world, they would understand all the messages that you have given. But if I request you to give one key message to the mid-career professionals and the rookies who are entering into the quality and excellence field, how they can build their career and aspire for excellence.
Thank you so much. So I think maybe, Zubair, going back to your and I's roots, just like security, quality is ultimately everyone's responsibility, both in your personal life and your professional life and the organizational life that you have within ASQ. And therefore, it becomes everyone's opportunity, right? If we understand our quality principles, we understand how organizations truly functions, how decisions are made, where risks accumulate at, why changes succeed or fail, and what it truly takes to build trust at scale. That understanding for mid-career professional and new students could come through reverse mentoring opportunities, through contribution to the various divisional or section or ASQE opportunities, and will make you invaluable across roles, industries, and career stages. I would say stay curious across all of the things that you're doing internal to your organization, and ask to meet with various leaders across your company, across your teams, and within and without ASQ. ASQ is part of a greater quality and excellence community across the globe. I would say reach near and reach far to understand what parts you can potentially play within those constructs. Learn how the greater integrated systems actually work, not just the processes that may be visible to you in your particular role. I would say to question assumptions constructively, especially if you're seeing comfort zones within your organization and or the opportunity to really play a seminal maturation role within your team or organization. That entails a true commitment to continuous improvement and continuous innovation as a discipline, not just as a slogan. So again, through your curiosity, through your conversations, through your communications, internal and external to the role and the organization that you hold now, you'll get a greater understanding of how you can approach things through a different perspective and how you can contribute with impact to best serve the organization and the quality industry. I would say, as the saying goes, excellence is not just a one-time act. It's the habits that you perform daily. And this is a paraphrase of Aristotle's philosophy. Quality is thus not a narrow career path, but it is really an expansive leadership platform. So I challenge our listeners, no matter if you're a beginner, if you're mid-career, if you're latter career, if you're transitioning across industry segments or leadership roles, that use quality, excellence, and innovation to better lead, shape, and influence our global future together.
That's wonderful. Rhonda, we want to thank you very much for sharing your insights and success stories. I'm sure that would help all the folks around the world. We once again thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to having more sessions with you.
Thank you so much, Zubair. We so appreciate you, and we congratulate you on your upcoming ASQ Fellowship, and we thank you for all that you do for us around the globe as a quality professional, as well as a mentor and leader within your industry. Thank you so much, Zubair.
Thank you.